So I'm just out in the woods testing the Jupiter 9 85mm f2. It wouldn't fit on my Leica M5, so it's on the Praktica MTL5, which I've just had sitting around for years. It's one of my first film cameras I've ever brought and never got rid of it. If you're into analog cameras, vintage lenses and digital cameras, then make sure you like and subscribe, because I will be doing more on this channel. It's going so well so far. It's a little bit cold, so it is a little bit stiff. I can't wait to see the results. I'm also going to shoot it on the Sony for a little bit and see how that goes, so results up and coming. Sometimes I really like shooting in the woods, black and white, because you get so much different light. Really adjust how you want it to look. Only trouble is with this lens, it's really stiff, so I'm not going to get much of the dogs. If I do, it'd be a miracle. Well, that's one roll done. Time to put it on the Sony. Because I've been shooting with lots of different lenses, I thought I'd start putting some on my Sony, and as this Jupiter 9 didn't fit on my Leica, I thought I would try it on the Sony as well as the Praktica. Because the lens is actually M39 screw mount, there is a little adapter to make it M42, and then it's just the adapter straight onto the Sony. And because it's a Sony, I should be able to get a lot more photos with the dogs. Brand new lenses can be a little bit boring. You know, you just get the same sharp images, and that's why sometimes I just like trying out some different vintage style lenses that's going to give me a different vibe. And I'm sure you can tell from these photos that it is kind of different from what you'd expect from a normal 85mm. So I'm going to go for the positives first. I really like the way it's a little bit softer than a normal or a new lens. It's a little bit softer around the edges, and it creates this nice bokeh, and I really enjoy it. The colours look quite cool off of the Sony. I haven't actually touched any of the Sony images. I literally just put them in, adjusted for exposure, and then they're here. So yeah, you can see they're a little bit more smoother, and it just a little bit different, you know, the way, I guess that soft, like if you want to say creaminess, is quite cool to have. And for the price as well, I mean, I got this one for like 90 quid, and it's a really cool lens. And here's the negatives, or the quirks, as you might want to say. Sounds a little bit less negative, but yeah, it was quite cold, and I found it quite stiff to focus. I knew when I brought it that it was kind of stiff, but as it got colder, it got even stiffer. So I was struggling to get focus, especially with the dogs. So anything that's not moving, like if you're doing still portraits and stuff, it'll be sweet. Any sort of landscape stuff, it's going to be really cool too. You get nice bokeh with a lower stop of f2. The corners are soft, but I think that's part of the whole lens. It's not going to be super sharp. You kind of want it for that soft feel, cinematic feel, and it will probably be really great for video. I haven't tested it on video, but it'll probably be really great for video if that's something you're into. Again, with some of the photos, you can see that it does flare, but most vintage lenses flare nowadays. And to be honest, if you're pointing towards the sun, or you're near the sun, or the sun's kind of high, you're going to get some flare anyway. And sometimes I like it, so it's not always a downside. And of course, it is just manual focus, so you have to get good at manually focusing. Sometimes I think people, when they buy a lens, like want this perfect lens, especially for like paying nothing. And I know that to get a good lens, you're going to be spending at least 500 to £1,000. And for 90 quid or say $100, this lens is awesome, especially if you want to have a bit more character to your photos. You want to shoot some portraits on a budget. You want to shoot some cinematic style photos and you're not worried about it being super, super sharp, then this is going to be a great lens for you. Trying it on portraits, landscape, and if you can get it to focus on the dogs, then even better. But it's definitely one of those lenses that I might keep just for the sake of that cinematic-y, soft edges feel to the lens, which is what I kind of like. And it's not actually that big for an 85. I mean, I've got it right here on my adapter, so it's not actually that big. And yeah, it's a really great lens. I like it. For the price, you can't complain. So if you've got any cool vintage lenses that you think I should try, drop me a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help grow the channel. And keep shooting. I'll see you next time.